See, this is what regular people don't get. You can't just tax rich people more because rich people are not.
Hi, regular person here, and I get it. Wealth and tax consultants like this person are obsessed with convincing you that taxing wealthy people, you're just too dumb to understand why it's a bad idea, and then condescendingly explain to you the tax code that the rich people wrote that they avoid, which very quickly is the earn, borrow, die cycle. Because what is taxed in this current economy is income. So if you can avoid ever taking income, you don't pay taxes. And so you get the money that you live with by having your assets, say it's stocks, think like a mortgage, and say you have $100 million worth of stocks, so you get $10 million in a loan, you use that to live. And you go, how do we pay that back? You don't, you die. And then the person that inherits your $100 million worth of stocks sells off those stocks and pays back the debt. And you're saying, well, surely you have to pay for the profit that you earned from those stocks. No, because there's this thing called stepped up asset rates, which means that if you gain something from an inheritance, you don't pay capital gains tax on it that you typically would. I.e., that rich person bought it at $100, sold it at $1,000, they would pay tax on those $900. But if the rich person buys it at $100, dies when it's at $1,000, I get it at $1,000 and sell it, I pay no taxes because according to the law, I owned it at $1,000. That's a loophole. That's called the step up tax loophole. These people present it as like such complicated ideas that we just can't undo it. It's so complicated. There's no way to make a tax code, but you can literally just get rid of stepped up assets or directly tax the assets as wealth. That's what the unrealized gain tax proposal was. And this is doing two things. First of all, it's putting money in their pockets. Most of these people either are wealthy and benefit from it, or work for the wealthy and benefit from helping them avoid tax. And number two, and more kind of like epistemically, it is confusing power with truth. They are observing that the people in power have made the tax system such that it doesn't apply to rich people, and confusing it with the truth that somehow taxes could never hit rich people, which is just not true. And they do this a bunch of times, making up the fantasy of the Laffer curve, which suggests that if you tax people, they'll just leave, or they'll do less economic activity. Not true, demonstrably untrue. But it doesn't matter, because their goal is to convince you that taxing rich people is literally impossible or against your interests, which it's not. Taking money from the people taking money from you, because the biggest form of theft in this country is wage theft, will always be in your interests. And you know how I know that? Because it's not in their interests. They wouldn't be working so fucking hard on lowering the tax code if they weren't going to pay the taxes. You see what I mean?